1 seed has elected to let Belmonte begin. There's that shot of Randy Peterson in the background. Did you see it right there, the fan?
I'm trying not to see it.
That's awesome. Belmonte taking his time. Slow start, fast finish in the semifinals. 245-236 win over Bill O'Neill.
Good start.
And Rob, Michael Fagan, as your #1 seed, gets choice of starting position. He chooses to have Jason-Belmonte start the match on the left lane, which makes Jason finish the match on the right lane with his plastic ball.
28-year-old Michael Fagan from Patchogue, New York, here on Long Island, has 1 tour title, but it's a doubles.
Hit it.
And I think that's the first time today that we've seen a ball not hook on the right lane. Just a little too deep for Michael Fagan, and that ball just finishes way late, leaving the 210.
He was worried about the lane conditions coming in with the high rev rates of Robert Smith and Belmonte and what they would do. Good attempts at trying to pick up the spare of the 10. And we talked to Michael Fagan. He says, hey, you know, this week a little home cooking never hurt. I bowled here forever. He bowled here in junior leagues, in high school, in college. He even worked the pro shop here. He would drill balls. He said he was essentially kind of like the lackey. He would have to empty vacuum cleaners, do it all, and here he is, bowling for the title, his first singles. Does get the 10 to kick there, so that's the first good break, but still seeking a good-looking first toss here.
And Michael Fagan has never been a #1 seed in a singles match. Bowling in front of the hometown crowd adds even more pressure. But you know what, Rob, quite honestly, pressure is what makes sports fun. I mean, if you don't feel it, man,
don't do it. Nice smooth release. Curls in. Top seeds in step-ladder formats this season are 7 and 4, which is really the best it's been for #1s in years.
Let's see how this plastic ball in this right lane holds up in this title match for Jason-Belmonte, because quite honestly, I'm not sure for him what the adjustment is if for some reason this shot goes away.
Again, a two-handed style from Belmonte.
It's okay, the 10 got out. It's all right.
Left the 8.
Two hands, no thumb, cupped wrist, cupped elbow. And even gets a plastic ball to hit good. That's pretty strong.
Is he worth the hype?
I think he is. First of all, I think he's a great kid. He's got a great personality. I think he's a good person, and I think that I know that he's got the talent. I mean, this guy can flat bowl. There's no other way around it. And what he can do to a bowling ball is just amazing. And in talking with him, what do you do when you try to change roll, or you know, when you try to throw it harder, slower, softer, you know, rev it up harder, cut back on the rev rate? He says, Randy, I just do it all by feel. You know, I envision the shot that I'm trying to throw. I look at the pattern that it makes on the lane, and then I just adjust it throughout the approach.
Belmo trying to join that list that we just showed on screen. TPR Titleist leaves the 10 pin. And again, the background to why Belmonte bowls with two hands is back home in Orange, New South Wales, Australia. His parents owned a bowling center, so he was obviously there at a young age with the bowling balls too heavy for him, so he essentially would just push them down with two hands, and the style continued with him. And so now he puts two fingers in, no hole for the thumb, and releases with two hands.
He's actually now living in Sweden. He was living in France for a while. A little tough for him to get his practice work in. Some friends convinced him to move to Sweden. They've got this big bowling club there. It's the best league environment he's ever bowled in, and he loves it there.
And the question is, what will he do next season? He said short-term goal, bowl 2 great games here and then the U.S. Open, then sit down with the missus. As Fagan drops them off. So opening strike for Michael Fagan comes in the 3rd frame. Your number 1 seed defeated Belmonte earlier in match play by 27. He's down 10 as we begin the 4th. Fagan, your number 1 seed, seeking his first ever singles title.
Run, Raggy.
I think he's found it. I think he's found it.
And we've seen a couple of matches like this afternoon where, you know, players get off to a rocky start, and then all of a sudden they find it and they string five baggers and get right back into the match and win.
So Fagan sits after back-to-back jacks. Belmonte opened up with the strike. Since then, spare in the 2nd and the 3rd.
To the right.
Belmonte is to win. He'll become the 78th player in PBA history to win his first career title during his first televised appearance. It happened this season already at the USBC Masters when John Nolan won it all. Going back to his discussion about what he's going to do next season, and you know, we talked earlier, you know, the demands of the PBA a little bit tougher than he thought. Having to bowl through so many quality opponents week in and week out. You know, over in Europe, you'll bowl a couple weeks, then you have a big block of time off where you can go back home. Here, it's week in, week out, week in. But he said, you know what? I want to butt heads every week with the best in bowling, and I want them to hit me as well. Competition's stronger here, and I was getting a little complacent bowling overseas.
That's better.
And we bowl a lot more games over here as well, and that was another big difference. Again,
Good shot.
Jason-Belmonte's goal is to be over here bowling full-time on this tour. And with a win today, he will earn a 1-year exemption. So a lot on the line for Belmo, a lot on the line for this young man right here who is trying to win his first ever career singles title in front of his hometown.
Inundated with ticket requests was Michael Fagan. Family, friends. You see his wife watching just over his left shoulder. Way wide right.
Oh, Michael.
And Rob, it almost looks like he loses this one at the bottom of the swing. It has nothing on it, going way right. Loses the 1-2-8-10.
There's his wife, Amanda, and her react. She handled it pretty well. Oof. Blew everything around the 10.
Yeah, very unfortunate. It's a pretty good shot at the washout. Wraps the one around the 10. And Michael Fagan had a really great opportunity there to add to the small lead that he had. Now he finds himself trailing by 15.
Down 15 with 2 open frames through 5. Things could be a lot worse. I gotta say, this is like, I'm sorry to make a soccer reference here, there's like a World Cup qualifier where, like last night, the USA and El Salvador, the U.S. goal was to take that home crowd out of the game early. The home crowd is not a factor here at all for Michael Fagan. Very quiet here in the title match. He's given them very little to really get amped up. A pair of strikes in the 3rd and the 4th. Lead at 15 for Belmonte as you see him put the foot up, roll the ball, and do a little visualization.
Come on, come on.
Yeah, that's the high, hard one. Pipe